Hello， 歡迎返嚟高投資粵語美股頻道。今集就請到多年嚟嘅好朋友 Lucy， 佢係新加坡嘅 Trader 嚟，擁有7年全職美股經驗㗎啦。平時就做開美股嘅 swing trade 同埋 day trade。據我所知，佢啱啱離開咗投行嘅工作，回復返自由身，好難得可以請佢同大家分享一下新加坡 Trader 喺美股投資策略上面同我哋香港嘅 Trader 有咩唔同。嗱，唔好介意我講識英文啊 Enjoy。Hi Lucy, I'm so glad to have you today. Are you nervous?
To be honest, a little bit. Rather than sharing my views with others, I'm more comfortable with trading.
Just relax. Do you know what we are going to discuss today?
Of course, I think we are going to talk about how Singapore and Hong Kong traders trade US stocks differently. But what I said cannot represent all the traders' opinions, just to share my personal views.
Sure, so let's get started. How would you say the difference between US stock market and other trading markets such as gold, FX, and crypto?
Stock trading requires you to read more fundamental materials, not only from the macroeconomics, but also microeconomics, to take a closer look at each specific company. For most of us, we tend to believe the rise in the stock price is due to price action, but that's the only part of the story. It's all about the attractiveness of stock. Then what makes stock attractive is driven by so many different factors. Or put it in another way, different investors will analyze the attractiveness of the stocks from different angles. Let's say, if you analyze only from the technical perspective, then the trade will lose the support from some investors who take other factors into consideration. So the investment in US stock requires you to be able to handle or analyze different kinds of materials. For part-time investors, it will be very challenging as they don't have so much time for research.
You are so right. That's why I spend lots of time in research. I know you get to know some traders are from Hong Kong, like me. How would you say about their trading strategies?
I'm actually impressed by your ability to combine fundamental analysis and technical analysis to do the trade. Most of my friends prefer use technical analysis. Their transaction frequency is higher than mine. They are familiar with the operation of all kinds of indicators. They do have their own trading system. But sometimes, they get the short end of stick when they literally didn't pay attention to the news. What surprised me the most is sometimes they even have no idea of what kinds of products or business or the companies they invest.
Yes, indeed. So do you think this is a good strategy?
I would say it's too aggressive or quick-witted. Perhaps Hong Kongers work long hours and live at a fast pace, so they always want to make a lot of money as fast as possible. Sometimes Hong Kong traders treat stocks like gambling our money. They never thought the nature of the stock is the company, so they always overlook the background information or stories behind each company. Investors will get the short end of the stick when solely depending on the price chart to estimate the rise or fall because they will pay less attention to what's behind the company, the data. You have to understand that every price movement has its own meaning. Of course, this is only my personal view. There are some successful traders who completely rely on technical analysis. But what I'm trying to say is, by knowing one more information, the possibilities of doing a successful trade will be improved a lot. Then why not? We have to admit that in the US stock market, there are tons of stocks. After doing a technical analysis, careful selections, there are still many stocks left. Then why we won't pick the best of the best? The ones looks equally good from the perspective of fundamental and technical analysis?
Alright, and the next one is, although I think I know your trading strategy, could you please tell us more about how you find the investment opportunities?
Sure. My procedures or steps are more like, the first one is to see overreaction, followed by headlines, rumors, earning reports, guidance, and lastly, conference call commentary, etc. If it is swing trade, I will conduct an analysis based on my experience. Let's say, to analyze the financial report and technical analysis of the trade. From macroeconomics side, I will keep a track of the major international news headlines on a daily basis, such as China currency devaluation and Greece situation.
Absolutely, and I got something I want to say. I think conference call coverage is another crucial factor. actually is probably the best and the only way to learn about a company and stock, because you can develop a grounded understanding. It's also a very effective approach to understand the company's future value and development. So, when you start investing in stock, have you ever attended any courses or classes? How would you say about the stock market course?
I know Asians truly believe the power of education. They think everything can be learned through the courses. I cannot say this is meaningless, but investment in US stock cannot be learned, or these skills cannot be gained from 10,000 courses. What I'm trying to say is, most students, they don't have the opportunities to see their teachers to do the trade in front of them. The real-world situations are quite different from the classroom. Also, never count on only one method in order to nail the US stock market. This is actually a stupid behavior because this market is changing all the time. You cannot use one method to deal with all kinds of situations. Sounds familiar, right? This is from you. So to answer your questions, I have not attended any kind of classes.
Yeah, the point is to know today's market and how to correspond to the different situation. It's not about finding a winning strategy. I think it's almost time to finish. The last question, are there any impressive and satisfied trades?
On May 19th, I bought Nerdy for $1.68 per share. It's a leading platform for delivering live online learning, providing services like tutoring, test preparation, and alternative schooling. The stock is trading at 52-week lows after this week lowering revenue guidance. Analysts' reaction to the guidance cut was negative. Some analysts had negative prediction on its future revenue, so the overall estimation of the stock is not very optimistic. But I did lots of research and found out that it doesn't have debt. It is also a very strong M&A candidate. Stock like this would attract investors like CHGG, TWU, and private equity firms. Finally, on May 31st, I sold it at $2.87 per share.
It's really nice to take a profit for 70% in only 2 weeks. That's the greatest example. I'm looking forward to having the opportunity to interact with you more in the future. Thank you again.
You're so welcome. Don't forget to buy me your dinner.
Sure.